of these cool hot rods, you know, they've been upgraded and modified over the years and the decades, but sometimes they just sort of get lost in the corner and they sit forever. And well, that's this baby here. You know, by FAA rules, we can't really take this thing for a flight because all the seat backs and tray tables need to be in the upright position. And
yeah, and that's definitely not happening there. The tacks hanging out of the dash and
maybe
so
with some
forth.
duct tape we can close that sucker up. Yeah.
Well, when you're talking safety, man, another one of our concerns that's been sitting for so long is upgrading the brake lines. All right, when you think volumetric expansion and that brake fluid inside that line,
or you think about rotted out hoses ready to burst. Let me get this thing jacked up here for you.
They're all cracked and so forth, like we said, kind of dry rotted. Well, when a car like this comes through our shop, we like put Crown Performance stainless steel brake lines. Why? Well, it's 5 layers of stainless steel and Kevlar. All right, unlike the traditional like 2 layers that you're going to get with most of these brake lines. Also, it's been pressure tested. It meets all the DOT standards up to 4,500 psi. It comes in 9 different colors, so you can customize it according to what your taste is. Now we got to get these guys on our old truck. All right, we want to get this truck roadworthy. Changing the oil, big part of that. Oil's been sitting in this thing for a long time, but I tell you what, we have a French filter system that's unbelievable. You heard of bypass systems, right? Well, my man Kev is going to tell you all about this incredible oil filtration system.
Now, what a lot of people call a bypass filter system is really a supplemental filtration system. Now, it started with what Willie's doing by sandwiching sort of an oil filter adapter. You guys are familiar with either running to a cooler or maybe a remote oil filter. This guy gets sandwiched between a filter and your block. Now, what it's doing is it's taking your normal filtration process, right, and it's tapping off a small amount, but it's running it through a really fine filtration media to get out the really small particles. So over a couple hundred miles, you can take basically used oil that's in your engine, and by filtering it through this guy here, it's making it like new. So inside of here is where the magic is, this really fine filtration media. So it's really simple to replace whenever you need to. All I gotta do, get that guy mounted up here, and then I've already drilled and tapped for a fitting for my return line back into the motor. So that's gonna start the cycle. That's given that Willie's finished sandwiching in that adapter.
Whoa. Did you say sandwiches?
Well, if you're talking ice cream type and you're buying, heck yeah, I did.
My man.
Yeah. Now, one thing we got to do if we're ever going to fire this truck up is get a good battery in it, because this one is dead smoked. Now, the one thing we have is some nice terminals, which is cool. We don't have to replace those.
Look what I got us, man, from AC Delco, our friends over there, professional Gold Series battery. They're built with a better reserve capacity. These things are just top notch, man. We're talking everything you need performance-wise from a battery with a 42-month warranty.
Yeah, but that 42-month means at 41 and like 29 days, if it goes out, you get a brand new one. It's not prorated. You're not getting a percentage, right?
Hey, and that's big. When you go out shopping for a battery, look at that, man. A lot of guys don't offer a free warranty, an exchange warranty. They'll give you a prorated discount, and you'll have to pay for another battery.
Yeah, now we're going for durability here, right? Because we've got a truck. It's now lowered. It's on some stiffer springs, but we still want to do truck stuff with it.
Yeah.
So this thing's got to be able to, you know, have a lot of sort of vibration resistance, durability. So the casing on these is a lot more rugged than a traditional battery. It holds the plates in tighter, right? So everything stays where it should, doesn't shake apart and fatigue after a while. Now, if you notice, I'm kind of going in reverse. I'm putting the red one on first, right? Yep. And make sure you get a good connection. If you got to go in there with a little Scotch-Brite, if you got some corrosion, maybe a little sandpaper, do it. You want a good connection to that terminal.
Yeah, man, we've done the baking soda trick. You've seen that a couple times. The great thing we like about these AC Delco Professional Series batteries is this terminal is resistant to a lot of that corrosion, that acid, and a lot of that seepage that you're going to see in a lot of batteries when you pop the hood.
Yeah, and you know what?
What?
We're that much closer to being able to fire the engine up or get in under that ugly dash and start fixing some of that wiring and those gauges and all that.
Hey, we've been nice to you guys. You haven't seen the inside of this guy, but it's straight stepped on. We'll get to that and clean all of that up in just a second. You know, usually the words iconic and pickup truck don't make the same sentence together. However, in 1967, the gang at Chevrolet and GM changed the rules a bit. The undisputed heavyweight of collector trucks belongs to the 67 through 72 Chevy C10. A former work-purpose-only vehicle, the 67 model got a number of comfort improvements, a smoother riding suspension, and new sheet metal. This was the first time in Chevrolet's history that a truck was marketed as a second family vehicle. Now with nearly 3 million of these trucks manufactured, plenty have survived. And unlike a lot of car restorations, the finished product is more important than its pedigree.
Hey, welcome back to our 71 C10 pickup project. Now the outside I think we can buff out a little bit, but the inside needs a lot more than just some elbow grease. I mean, I got broken factory gauges, I got repeat gauges over here by the shifter, I've got another set of the same gauges here that aren't even mounted. Everything's cracked and broken, and I can't even keep my seat tray up, so we've got a lot of work to do. So Willie, let's show all these fine people out there what we're bringing to the table.
Man, are we ever. Brothers Trucks hooked us up so sweet. Complete gauge cluster. It's gonna have everything, your speedometer, tach, all your gauges, so forth. We got a glove box made out of the exact chipboard, right? Just like it was in 71. 71 climate control was something like air, heat, and defrost. That's all you got, here it is.
Don't forget about the radio.
Oh yeah.
So we got a lot of work to do, so let's start divvying it up. You take some, I'll take some, let's get it going.
We'll call dibs on this.
Do it.
All yours.
Now, one of the most important features to me inside this dash is hooking up the tunes. Now, to do that, you know, in the old school way, they had a square opening and maybe a couple of holes for the knobs. So you had a unique pattern in here. You have to match up the right size radio. But by going to a DIN standard, which is this size right here, right? It's common across all modern radios. Somebody's already gone in and cut this opening out. Kind of makes it simple. Now, all you have to do is install this little register. And what that entails is, see these little tabs? Once you slide it up against the sheet metal, you fold these up and it'll hug it nice and tight. So this thing is stuck in there, kind of like this. Once those are folded in, but now you got to support the weight on the back side because this thing's pretty heavy. But that's simple as well. Get a little hanger like this that comes with a kit, hang it on the stud. You can bend it anywhere you want and find a spot on the back firewall just to support that weight. You can even prop it up if you need to. Now what's cool about this one from Brothers Trucks, it's got that old school look but totally modern, right? Kick it like this, you slide your CDs in, you got USB, aux port, all that stuff. So let me get this thing wired up and we're ready to crank it up.
All right, you know the great thing about hot rodding in the modern era? Things like this. Now we got this again from Brothers Trucks. It's a full, complete gauge cluster. It's gonna have everything, your speedo, your tach, which is kind of a rarity back then, your fuel gauge, oil pressure, and so forth. And it's just plug and play, but it has all today's modern electronics. Again, circuit board, really super nice. Now, again, if you get into a hot rod and see that finished look, something like this, what a complete difference, transformation it makes in the looks of the interior.